Welcome to another installment of Milk Jug Mafia. Welcome, Mafia members, prospective members that are not sure yet, and of course, welcome the haters that are just watching to not share or anything else, because I know y'all are in the cut. But enough about y'all and more about me. I wanted to break the ice today, talking more about I think that individualism is important. I think that's an important topic to explore during postpartum. I've noticed like I follow a lot of moms. I ain't gonna shout everybody out because it's a lot of y'all, but I noticed like a lot of women kind of message me about different stuff, not really about individualism, but just it's almost like y'all are wondering how I do some of the stuff that I do. And it's like the foundation of my motherhood is just based off me having a good family and a support system. I do think it's unfortunate that some women don't have that, but a lot of the stuff that I do, it's not really because I don't really have to try to plan or be intentional when it comes to owning my own, my hobbies or whatever I'm doing, even if it's just for work. A lot of the stuff that I do, my family supports it. So I have help. And if you don't have that, I do think that that's unfortunate. That's why I wanted to make Milk Jug Mafia a nonprofit, to maybe help women find resources that don't. Like, I can talk about a lot of the stuff that women should do pertaining to motherhood, but people don't have the resources. And I don't like that because I can talk about it and I'm blessed to have things, but yikes, that kind of sucks that some people don't have that. But before I started rolling, we were discussing individualism, and I feel like it's important during postpartum to remember like you're owed time to yourself, time to, work on things that are going to build a brand or make you more successful for your child and for yourself. It's important for you to have that time to have fun, work on your craft, or just work towards a better future for yourself, even if it's just to be for fulfillment or if it is actually to help you and your child. I really can't stress enough how important it is to be selfish postpartum. A lot of women don't do that, and I've never been scared to just be selfish. I don't know. I feel like I've put myself in a lot of situations in life where I had to isolate myself because I was going through something emotionally and I didn't have anybody else to. Some stuff you can't talk about with people. Like there's just those emotional journeys where you go through it by yourself. And because of that, I feel like I'm owed time to myself so I can recharge. And you just have to think like that. And I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate if you don't have family to support you through that, but maybe there's like a sleeping schedule you can create for you and your child to where you have that free time to like, you know, decompress or think or whatever. Like I don't know. I also pray you meet somebody that will give you that space to have a break because some women have babies with bad men and then they like they find somebody that kind of helps them. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like when you actually heal yourself, you make space for better people to come into your life, and then you can have that man that you have that other kid. Like I know a lot of women that had a baby with one man and it didn't work out, but then they have all their other kids with some other man, and then it's perfect. So there's space for you to find somebody better, I feel like. So I think it's important to separate and focus on yourself. Don't be just, you're always going to be mom, but don't be so much of a mom that you don't take time for yourself and then you try to say later, like, oh, I didn't do this because of my kids. Like, don't blame your kids for why you didn't have your selfish moments. Don't do that. Like, there's enough time in the world for you got to find some time to just be selfish. And eventually those kids get bigger. So that's just a me thing. I just feel like individualism is important. I asked some of y'all to give me topics or questions or things that you wanted me to discuss. And let me see. So Jasmine is somebody I went to school with. I played basketball with her. She told me to talk about pregnancy. She does not have any kids yet. So I guess this is gonna be like a first time mom type of thing. But pregnancy is like a broad, that's all she said was pregnancy. That's a broad thing to discuss. So I'll just kind of go over everything. I could talk about pregnancy all day, so I don't know if you want to do this to me. But to me, pregnancy is a very sacred time for a woman. It's very, very vulnerable because it's not a similar experience. Everybody goes through different things while they're pregnant. And I just feel like for me, when I first found out I was pregnant, like the both times, because I've lost a baby, I always get very excited. I think that it's like a gift from God to be pregnant, and that's just me. A lot of women, get overwhelmed, but understand that pregnancy is a serious thing. I don't condone abortions. I'm pro choice. I think that women should make their own decisions with their bodies because, like I just said, all of us, we're all different. Some women are way more emotional and dramatic than others, and they just can't handle the stress of pregnancy. But I do think that with that, you need to be more mindful of what you do with your body if you're going to be so, like, willing to just up and just have an abortion. That just doesn't make sense to me to recklessly use your body and then turn around and be like, oh, I can't take the pressure of the consequences of using my body. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me to have an abortion just because you aren't mature enough to handle the responsibilities that come with having sex. Now, if you made a mistake, if you were drunk, like, there's a lot of variables to it. Like, I don't think I could ever penalize a woman for having an abortion because they literally just were being loose, reckless, and they were like, whoa, this is a lot. And then they obviously, after that, make that change. Cool. Like, you learned your lesson. I can't judge you for that. But y'all that just use Plan Bs and abortions and stuff as an excuse to, like, be reckless, I don't respect you. And I don't have to. So keep that. Like, when I speak on I spoke on abortions on TikTok one time, and girls were coming at me, and I was like, wow, y'all are so entitled to the convenience of things. You think you can do whatever you want with your body and there's no consequences to it? You're pathetic. Like, that's really just how I think about abortions. I've never ever desired to have one or get one. But then again, I have friends, family. I know people that have had it and they've talked to me about it, and I don't judge them for it because I understand, like, it's a mental thing. Like, you don't want to do that to yourself, and I don't really care for not abortions. I don't care for birth control either. I just don't want to. I took it for a year, and I only took it because my cycle was so heavy. I wanted it to be regulated in some way. So it's like I don't want all that poison in my body. I want to be as natural as possible, and I should be able to control myself well enough to where I didn't have a baby till I was 24. Most girls on average have a baby before they're even 18. Like, that's just it's one of those things where it's like it could happen at any time, and we're all capable of making mistakes. Like, I've made plenty. So it's like I get it, but on the aspect of abortion and pregnancy, like, I just I don't respect it. There's so much I could say off camera because I don't want to air out other people, but I've previously been friends with women who use abortion as just like an scapegoat, and it's like and then they would get mad at me and act like I'm just some holier than thou, and I'm like, no, I have self control. Like, I don't have these problems that y'all having because I don't have attention seeking issues. I'm not this lustful, like, demon that has to have sex and feels entitled to having sex with people and then not reaping none of the consequences of it, especially when condoms exist. Like, it's just a lot going on out here for me where I'm just like, y'all need to do better. Like, but off that, so if you're pregnant and you're taking it serious, anyways, I feel like the first thing to consider is your daily supplements. Are you, like, what vitamins are you taking on a daily basis? If you're not exercising already, you should start, even if it's mild. If you're not stretching every day, you should be doing that every day, even if it's mild. Um, you need to go ahead and decide what your birth plan is, what type of birth you want to have. Do you want to have an OBGYN? Do you want to have midwives? If you can afford a doula, if you have a man that can pay for a doula, because they're kind of pricey, but they're worth it on the back end if you want emotional support and you know you don't have it. Spend that extra money getting a doula or a lactation consultant. And also, I really feel like the only probably the only normal way to pick what would be best for you is to go down all the options. So if you're going to do an OBGYN, understand that you're gonna have your baby at the hospital. You're probably gonna have to follow most hospital protocols, which isn't bad if you trust if you like the hospital that you're gonna have your baby at, and you've been on a tour of it, cool. But if you want something more intimate and more natural, see if there's a birth center near you. See if your insurance covers that, and if you don't want to do a birth center and you want to go all the way natural, you can just get some midwives and you'll plan for a complete home birth. But there are places where they'll do home birth or they'll do like a birthing center. And a birthing center isn't bad because it's similar to the home birthing experience, but you still have medical professionals on standby on call if anything happens, but it's still like more calm, more intimate, and they let you do a lot more. Now at the hospital, a lot of people think like, oh, if I go in there, I got to do what they tell me to do. I had my baby at the hospital. That was not my plan, but when I went into the hospital, they respected my birthing plan. So I didn't lay up in the bed. They gave me extra tools and stuff to use. They gave me tips and pointers of other natural ways to give birth. My midwife, not my midwife, the nurse that was at the hospital, she put her thumbs, I think it was. She put her thumbs on my lower back while I was in labor and put me in like this all fours position, and I swear that shit felt so good because of it hurt so bad. Like giving birth, um, it hurt so bad. But that's another topic I have to discuss because somebody asked me to bring it up. But as far as pregnancy goes, you want to make sure that your whatever medical route you take, you want to make sure it's beneficial to you. If you feel more comfortable having a doctor, get a doctor. If you feel comfortable at a birthing center, go there. If you want to have a midwife, have a midwife. I'm not really here to what to do, but I feel like if you want to do the most natural thing, you should get a midwife. Like my midwives gave me breastfeeding tips. They didn't do a lot of people don't know that ultrasounds is a lot of unnecessary radiation. You don't really need to have an ultrasound every doctor's appointment, but OBGYNs typically tend to do that, which is like I said, it doesn't matter, but it's something to consider. I had a Doppler every visit, so they just check the baby's heartbeat. But you can buy your own and do that. Like you can get the dad to do that if you teach him. Like it's really not that hard. The cool thing about midwives is that they know how to check the baby's positioning without an ultrasound. They can tell you how the baby's positioned just by feeling your stomach. You learn a lot about traditional pregnancy methods from a midwife. That's why I love seeing that these celebrities are doing it. A lot of the celebrities are doing water birthing, midwifery services. Like it's kind of frowned upon for whatever reason, but if people it's not that hard to figure out the ins and outs of pregnancy. A lot of it comes to women naturally because we're nurturers, but I would look into your medical route, I would look into your diet, I would look into like what prenatal you want to take. I personally don't want to recommend a prenatal vitamin. I think that gummy vitamins are like trash. I don't care if it's for a kid, for an adult. Any gummy vitamins, trash, because it's just sugar, gelatin. No. And the best vitamins are going to be liquid form. Outside of liquid form, capsules, like the little vegan dissolvable capsules. I don't know about anything else, but you take what you can afford because everybody got to get different stuff. But definitely take a prenatal vitamin. Take something that has, all the omega, DHA, all that. You want to take all that for the heart health of the baby. I mean, that's probably the most important thing. You want to make sure like you're in your best health ever. And if you can manage, y'all don't be getting married without no man. I mean, don't be having a baby without a man. Don't be pregnant and don't have a man. Me personally, no more babies will be coming out of me unless I have a man. Like, unless I can stay home, do what I want, and just worry about my health, you ain't got to worry about me having another baby for real. Like, there's just no way. Like, it's so exhausting. It is a full-time job to grow a baby. It is exhausting. And honestly, the household stuff, if you're motivated enough and you're exercising enough and have enough energy, you're going to be able to clean, you're going to be able to cook. You're still going to be able to be a wife if you are in a comfortable, controlled space. I, this is just nature. Like, if you really want to be a wife, it's just not that hard. Like if you have a man, I will tell anybody if you. That's why I say I can't say nothing about abortions. If you feel like you're gonna be stuck and you scared, I understand. Like you don't want to do this without no man or without no healthy relationship. At least if you and the dad aren't together, at least know he's a good enough dad to not abandon you and the baby. Like, even if y'all just don't work out, at least make it to where you are with somebody that actually cares about being a good dad and isn't a piece of shit. Like, I can't stress that enough. If I got pregnant today, I would hope I got pregnant by somebody that at least cared about being a good dad. I never ever cared about a man really caring about me, but I would hate to be pregnant by somebody that don't care about about kids, period. That is just crazy. Like, I don't want to be pregnant by nobody that don't care about me enough to not be like, look, we can't be together, but look, you need, like, I would rather have a man that is gonna press the issue about his kid. Honestly, I would, because I'm gonna respect that. You deserve to be in your kid. Like, that's just me. I'm not gonna do that to no man. I'm just not. And I don't want that extra stress. Like, I would never want to be this bitter woman who doesn't. Ooh, I like that. I would never want to be this like bitter individual who like keeps the man from the kids because we not together. I ain't ugly, so I don't care. Come get your baby. Thank you. Like, no, thank you. I'm not trying to do all this by myself. But that be like, those are the main things. Make sure your health is top tier, and make sure you have comfortable space during pregnancy, and make sure you have a good support system. Even if it's just a man, even if it's just your man is really all you need. Because if y'all locked in and y'all good, you're fine, because you're going to get that break that you need. You're going to have the help that you need, so you're not overwhelmed. And even if it's a man that you don't end up being with, you know he's a good enough dad to be like, let me get my child, or let me do this. And then you have that space and that time to utilize to do what you need to do. Like, you got to make it work out for yourself. So either way, my labor pains were a little bit more complex because I had to get Pitocin. So Pitocin is what they use to induce labor. They use that to make the baby come out, and they put it through your IV and they pump it. That's how they did it to me, anyways. They pumped it through my blood, and it helped me get my baby to come out because my water had broke, but she wasn't budging. She was like in my body just chilling. But yeah, Pitocin made it hurt worse. So it definitely, she was like, I did not know that contractions felt like period cramps. They do. They feel like the worst period cramp ever. Like that one that you get and then it kind of goes away. It never goes away. It's like ooh, like this shit hurts so bad. Like, I remember squeezing my child father hand. I'm just like, oh my God, it hurt. But I was redirecting that pain into him. And that's how I got away with not having any epidural or no, I didn't have any medicine to numb the pain or alleviate it. I had medicine that made the pain worse. And that's it. And I thugged it out. And I just pushed the baby out. But honestly, there's so many methods. Like I said, the nurse that I had, she had put pressure on my lower back. Um, Hypnobirthing is a big, 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 big. It's a big deal. I'm so glad I found this while I was pregnant. If you don't know what this is, it's like conditioning yourself to be prepared for labor. And if you have a partner, it's so much easier because you have somebody there to talk you through the labor pains. I didn't have that. I had the concept down, but I didn't have somebody that understood it with me to help me. Like, man, my labor would have probably went by faster had I had somebody there to like really help me through it. Cause my best friend was there, but she was like really tired. My best friend passed out while I was in labor. Shout out to D'Angel. She was like fucked up. But she had started a medication. She had just gotten into a car accident and everything. Like, she's already witnessed other people give birth. Like, it wasn't the birth that did it to her, but like she was already going through a lot health wise that she was of no use to me when I was in labor. And in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have even invited my child's father to my labor because he was useless. Like, I would squeeze his hand for like to redirect that pain, and then he'd walk away, and then I have to call him back. Like, I kept having to call him back to me the whole labor. And I'm just like, oh my God, why are you here? Like, it's so irritating. But labor pains can be, if you're trying to fight through them naturally. Like, I'm not here to talk to y'all about epidural and all that crap. Like, if you want to get epidural, get it. If you want to lay up in the bed, get it. But you can tell them, like, I want to get up, I want to walk around. That is what helped me through pregnancy. Being able to walk around, sit on the toilet, change positions frequently. That is what helped me. Like, being able to just release that rage. I was screaming, yelling, I was doing all that shit. That shit hurt. That shit hurts. I'm not finna sit up here. Oh, it's not that bad. No, I had a patient that was like, oh, it felt like a big poop. Yeah, it's like that and worse. Like, that shit fucking hurts. But it was tolerable. Like I would do it again without medication, no issue, like easily. But it's not for everybody. Like some girls are dramatic, some girls don't like pain, some girls don't even like to be penetrated with a needle. So I can understand why some people get medications and stuff. It's not for everybody, but epidural slows you down. Epidural is like they say that it's fentanyl. Like, don't be shooting me up with that shit. I barely like to take ibuprofen. I'm not. That's just me personally. Labor pains are not a fucking joke, and I'm not here to pretend like they're just a walk in the park. That shit hurts. But I've known a lot of girls that have had multiple kids, and as they have more kids, they pop them babies out compared to the first time. But I know some people who be in labor for like umpteen hours because they want to get medications, they want to lay on their back, they want to do all this stuff. You need to get up and move. You need to stop. A lot of people don't understand that you can't avoid that pain. You can't suppress it. You need to feel it and let it flow through you so you can push the baby out. You're trying to prolong the inevitable, get the baby out of there. You be in hours and hours of pain for what? Get it out of there. Get the babies out. Like, oh, child, I don't. But I'm not here to judge nobody. That's just how I think when it comes to it because I've always wanted to be mom and go through all the pregnancy stuff. But oof, sexual assault. Someone asked me to bring up the telltale signs of sexual assault. And I agree. It is a heavy topic and it's important. I have never personally been like harassed or assaulted or violated. I know people who have been, and I know that it's something that it affects you for the rest of your life. People love to water it down because a lot of people lie about it and they over exaggerate. But there are some people who get assaulted and abused and taken advantage of because whether they're young or they are timid, or it's just there's a lot of variables to that too. But with sexual assault, it's very obvious when a woman has been sexually assaulted because they're just way more like shy and like kind of guarded, but also they're not so guarded in the way that they're protected. It's more guarded, like they're cautious of it, but like if it happens to them, they would just freeze. They would just not know what to really do. And I feel bad for those people because a lot of those women don't have enough confidence or they're not certain of a lot of things. And it's just like, those people need extra patience, extra care, extra love. Like it's, I thank God I've never dealt with it, but the women that I know that have been through it, oh my gosh, they're so like, it's almost like they're strong, but they're still weak at the same time. And not weak in that sense of like, what they went through defeated them, but like weak in the sense of like they never really fully coped with it. They just kind of like accepted, like, dang, I went through this, but it's also like, where's my value? What type of person am I? Like I feel bad because it's something that doesn't just happen overnight. It's like years and years of like processing what you went through, something that you didn't ask to happen to you at that. It's one of those things like with sexual assault, like I've never been through it, and I'll tell you now, like for me to process something like that, it's something you never expect. You're not thinking about somebody violating you, so it's like it kind of slows you. It really slows you down, and it makes you like question a lot of things. And I know people personally. There's people I want to get on the show that have been sexually assaulted that I would love to sit down and let people see here, like what they've went through and the stuff they've overcame because it's just it's really sad. Like I mean, I'm telling you now, I'm chopping dicks off me personally. Like you ain't getting away with this. I'm gonna pretend I want to suck your dick or something and I'm done. Like I just wish I would go through something like that without going down without a fight. Like you not finna be. Mm-mm. The thought of being violated and I don't like to be touched is like whoa. Like that would fuck me up. Like and I'm a pretty strong, confident person. That would bother me. Like I don't, and what makes me feel bad about women that have been sexually assaulted is that when they have kids, especially daughters, like you have so much to consider, and your trust is kind of fucked up because you're just like in the back of your mind, you're questioning people you never thought you would question because you're like, I would be doing that because it's like I'll kill every single last one of y'all about my damn job. That's all I know, but I'm not, I'm not with that now. Someone gave me an actual question. Someone asked me, how does a man get my attention and keep it? To get my attention, for one, just to generally get my attention as a man, you have to be somewhat not uninterested in me per se, but very like um no expectations. Like you're just going with the flow. I can just have a normal conversation with you. Like it's not anything that's forced, or I don't feel like you're in my face because you think I'm pretty. Like it's just a natural conversation. I feel like I'm more attracted to men that aren't attracted to me first encounter, if that makes sense. Like it's okay to be attracted to me off of a conversation, but to be attracted to me just by talking to me is kind of like, I mean, not talking, like being attracted by looking at me and having like a fake conversation is like to keep my attention is to kind of just really be yourself. Like you need to be an individual who knows how to just talk to women without thinking with your penis. Like, and it just needs to be, oh yeah, like I see you as a person. I don't see you as a body, a flesh, a person to like sought after to want to touch on. Like if I feel like that is what you're leading up towards, because some men will kind of say a few sentences to you and then they want to grab, or then it's like boundaries, my bubble, my space. Like, is that are we okay? No, maybe not. But either way, I don't know. I just feel like to keep my attention, you gotta really be one of them ones, basically. But to get it, it there's so much I can say right now, and I don't want to give up my game cards. I'm not trying to give up my game cards because I'm in the space right now where I don't want to tell too much because I don't want men to know, like, oh, this all I got to do, because some men will do that and then it's performative. And I want it to be organic. I want you to just be yourself. I feel like to keep my attention, I have to feel like you're being real. My intuition is strong. I know when somebody real. I know when somebody is trying to get my attention just to keep access to me, and when they're trying to get my attention because they like me, they respect me, and they want to be a part of my life in a genuine way, not in a way that's just oh, I need access to her to say I have it. Like I don't want all that. Like I can't even give y'all too much, because if I tell y'all how to keep my attention, then all of y'all would think y'all got all the keys to money and y'all don't. Like that's not what we doing for real. But if I had to really, as far as if you're asking in the sense of how does one approach me, because that's how I really felt like that. I feel like that's what that question was. Like when he said, "How does one get my?" I felt like it was more of a how should a man approach you properly. Uh, the main thing is being formal. Like, hey, my name is Duke. You're pretty. How old are you? I want to get to know you. Like, I feel like just running down, asking me a lot of questions, but also answering those same questions simultaneously is a good way to approach me, because you're giving me some information about you and it's like an exchange of information and that's it. And if you decide in that exchange you don't really like me, I respect you more then, because it's like you knew you got what you wanted out of that. You're not trying to like, oh yeah, well, I'm like, I don't want you asking me all these questions just so you can get closer and closer and closer to me, just so you can touch me, just so you can have sex with me, just so you can just do something to say you did it. Like, if the ultimatum at the end is, okay, I'm trying to build with her and I have an intention, or I'm just trying to just do something for fun, go ahead and skip to the end up front if you're just trying to have fun. Like, all that dragging it out, having conversations, what's the point? There's just I don't see a point. Like, you didn't have to ask me all that if you just wanted to do all that other stuff. Like, I'm gonna tell you no, but it still would be nice to know up front like what the real intent is, because some men want to know things so they can like wiggle their way into a space that they have no desire to really keep clean. And I don't. Why you want to be here when I want a real man? I don't. Some men will know like your redeeming qualities. They'll know like, oh, she does this like my mom, or she does this like my like. I'll have favorable qualities of people that you're close to and that you admire, and I love that for me and for you. But I'm not for everybody in that aspect. Just because I remind you of somebody that you're comfortable with, that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to be the one for you. That's not really how that works. That's never really been my thing per se either. Like, I don't want to be with somebody who's just like unsure of themselves, but they somehow know how to scope out what a good thing is. Like, I'm a good person, But for some reason, you don't know how to be a better person to accommodate the person I am. So you're just here to drain me, and I'm not really here for that for real. So I'm not. This is gonna be brief. I wanted to talk about this whole soft girl era thing. There's a lot of people. That's like a lot of things are trends now. But as far as the soft girl era goes, this girl on my page, she was saying that she doesn't like that people. She feels like there's all these made up terms like soft girl era. You could say passenger princess is made up. Like whatever you want to say is that's what I think. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but you said it first. But everything is made up. But I feel like with the soft girl era, I think that that's a great concept because a lot of women need to learn about how to value themselves and how to be virtuous. And I feel like soft girl era is those two things. You don't deserve a soft girl era if you're not working on yourself, if you're not being graceful and nice to men that do deserve it. Like, I don't really think you can't expect a man to put you in that type of lifestyle and you're a airheaded piece of shit. You're not that nice. You have no redeeming qualities. You're lazy. You don't cook. You don't clean. And I'm not saying this as a like if as a woman, if you work a job and you want to do the 50-50 thing, you do that. But like that's cool. That's what comes with that. But like as far as soft girl era, I feel like soft girl era is a more traditional woman thing. I feel like that's for women that want to be taken care of. Now, if you think being a soft girl is just having a lightened load, then you can redefine the word. Those terms can be redefined, honestly. But me personally, Milk Jug Mafia wise, soft girls don't have a job. Like at all. You don't work. You do what you want to do. Having a business and having a job is two different things. Having a family to take care of and your own things to pursue is totally different than having to worry about integrating into the economy. To me, being a soft girl means I don't have to worry about being a consumer. All I have to do is take care of my kids and take care of my household. Taking care of a household and keeping shit afloat because I don't have to worry about money is super fucking easy to me. That's just me. Y'all can redefine that term all y'all want to, but for me, I think soft girl era is a great concept because it helps women figure out what they want, whether that's 50-50, whether that's for a nigga to leave you alone altogether and you just be by yourself. I don't care what it is, but I like that term because it helps women decide how to kind of grow towards comfort. And I think that's important because a lot of women feel like overwhelmed with expectations and the weight of the world. And I understand all of it from every aspect, but I just wanted to touch on that because I love that whole soft girl era thing. I feel like that redefines a high value woman. Like I feel like a girl that wants to be in her soft girl era, that means you're just doing whatever makes you feel the most feminine. I don't care what that particular thing is. For me, it's just not having a care in the world. It's just doing whatever I want to do. And then like last but not least, because Milk Jug Mafia was made for breastfeeding, we're gonna talk about breastfeeding. I made this random list like probably weeks ago. But I wanted to just talk about some things I feel like these are things people don't mention when it comes to breastfeeding. And they might. I mean, obviously somebody does because I learned this from somewhere, but some people just don't speak on it enough for people to be more educated on the process of it, milk supply, all that other stuff. Like breastfeeding is a full-time job. It really is. But I would tell any woman, if you're gonna prepare to breastfeed, and you need to prepare for breastfeeding in pregnancy. You don't prepare for breastfeeding when the baby comes. You need to prepare for that beforehand. So you need to pick what type of bottles you want. I recommend getting glass bottles. That's it. Please get glass if you can afford it. But honestly, you get a couple of good ones, like get glass bottles. In the long run, it's better for the baby. Get a wholesale membership while you're pregnant. Um, Wipes, diapers, food that you know you want to eat to help support your supply. Get it in bulk at Sam's, Costco, BJ's, wherever you shop wholesale. Get a wholesale membership. Get with other people that have other memberships and share whatever you want to do. Like Sam's Club, you can share that membership with like 4 people. But get a wholesale membership. I think that's very, 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 very important. And try to stock up on stuff while you're pregnant and all that other stuff. Like, I can't stress enough how important it is to get a wholesale membership after you have kids. Like, seriously, because kids are very repetitive and you're going to end up buying a lot of the same things and stuff that you know you're going to buy more frequently. You're better off buying it in bulk at a wholesale spot. You're better off spending more money to have something longer than spending a lot of money to buy small amounts of something over time. That's just common sense to me. While you're breastfeeding and while you're pregnant, you eat for two. If you're going to breastfeed after pregnancy, you're still going to be eating for two. You're going to eat probably like not as much as you did when you were pregnant, because let's be real, the amount that you eat while pregnant is embarrassing. I gained so much weight at the end. I had my baby past Thanksgiving. I was 107 pounds my first trimester because I was throwing up so much. I was 160 in my last trimester. I was like thick everywhere. I was big. I was just ridiculous. I looked, I looked crazy. Like, I just was swole. But you are gonna, if you're gonna breastfeed, you're gonna get your figure back, but you're gonna eat like a lot. Like, you're gonna snack a lot in between meals. If I could do it all over, oh my God, I would eat so different. Like, I was just eating just whatever because of where I was at emotionally. It still worked out and I breastfed, but like, I could really breastfeed in a better way. If knowing what I know now, yeah, you have you a man and put him to work, give him a grocery list, make him go buy all that. Like, seriously. Get a plan. Have a plan and have a man to help you execute that plan. That is the best advice. Breastfeeding, pregnant, postpartum, all that. Have the man that's supporting you, put him to work. For real. Because he ain't got much else to do. For real. He ain't got to do nothing but go to work. Um, you need to sleep as much as the baby while you're breastfeeding. I don't I don't really know why, but it's hard for some women to get sleep after having the baby. I don't have this problem. I've never really had an issue sleeping. I did a little bit when I first had her, but I started praying more after I had my baby, and I sleep just the same. I don't have sleeping problems. I've never had that issue, but I will say you want to make sure you're having like magnesium, just stuff that can keep you calm while you're breastfeeding, so you can. Sleeping helps your milk supply so much. I can't tell you how many times I woke up engorged, like just I had changed my shirts so much. I had milk all over everything because it was just I would fall asleep and just your body calms down while you're asleep and your body can just cycle through and make you a new supply. Like, I used to have so much milk. I used to have to wake up pumping because my baby wouldn't even be up yet sometimes. So it just depends. Or like both boobs would fill up with milk while she's eating on one, milk is falling out the other. So it's like this is an exciting time. So it's like you just save that milk. I used to get like she would be eating on one side and I would literally have enough milk coming out on the other side to fill up a whole bag of milk to go in the freezer. Like, I had so much milk, it was ridiculous. I had nothing. Like, I just had it I didn't even want to pump sometimes because I was just like, this is too much. I had way, way too much. But with that, your mood affects a lot of your supply, your stress levels. If you don't sleep, all of that stuff is affected by whether you get sleep, whether you have a good support system, just all of that. Like, if you're not getting sleep, if you're stressed out, you don't have any help, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know who to talk to or whatever, y'all can always call me. I mean, text me, whatever. People have texted and asked me for help. I might as well be a doula with some of the things that I've done for women. But yeah, your mood affects your baby. Your self-awareness levels affects your milk supply. So if you're like I was zoned in on breastfeeding, like there was no emotion on this planet that could deter me from making sure my baby was fed. That was another big thing. I coached myself up through pregnancy to breastfeed. I prayed, I literally prayed. I was like, God, please make sure I can breastfeed. Please help me. Please show me, reveal information to me, like whatever you need to do to make sure I can get this done. Like, it was very important to me. That was on my heart heavy. Like, I have to thank God for my breastfeeding journey because I feel like I had to really commune with him and make sure, because so many women are just so doubtful and unsure and they don't have good support system when it comes to it. And I feel bad for people that don't know how to block out the noise and just do what's best for them and go against the grain, because I could have let my family be in my ear about stuff, but I just was like, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna do it. And they say, a lot of women with faster metabolisms have a better supply. So it's like if you have a fast metabolism, but you get stressed out or react to things emotionally, you already know what's gonna happen. Postpartum, you still have to take vitamins and stuff while you're breastfeeding. You still need the health and the diet that you had while pregnant. You have to kind of that has to be your same like routine while you're breastfeeding, and you pretty much have to still act like you're pregnant while you're breastfeeding, pretty much, because your body still has to have a little bit of extra nutrients to produce healthy milk, healthy nutrients, healthy fats. Like it's a job. That's why I tell people all the time, like, this isn't just like this is just what women go through. Like, no, this is a real job. This is being nurturing, being a mother, breastfeeding. Like, this is a job. This is not no cookie cutter shit that you just do for fun. Like, when you want to do it and you want to be serious about it, this is a job. Like, anything could go wrong at any moment. Like, there's so much that goes into it. Like, I could talk about this all day. And then to wrap up, Jasmine, back on pregnancy, make sure you look into keeping your placenta. That's something I forgot to mention. Like, make sure when you make your birth plan, make sure you're thinking about everything. If you want to breastfeed, how do you want to help have dad feed the baby? Like, because if you want to just exclusively breastfeed, because there's a difference, exclusively breastfeeding and then like pumping and doing all that. I personally always tell women if you want to exclusively breastfeed, that's cool. I personally would rather integrate both, like breastfeed and the bottle. So that way, if you need to do something, the dad can help you. It's very hard to exclusively breastfeed and have like dad help you. Very, very hard. But that's all I really have for today. I mean, I feel like I talked longer than I was supposed to, but it is what it is. Ain't no little bit. It's probably a lot. But no, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow me, share any stories, do what you want to do, discuss anything you want to discuss with me, and thank you for tuning in.